Everyone, welcome to the show. So, as I mentioned the other day, I don't like histrionics. I don't like the drama and, hyperbole and getting people all worked up over something that isn't that big of a deal. It's like, let's just get to the facts. And I hope you guys have gotten that sense of me over the last like 5 years that I've been doing this. But I have to tell you, we are at the precipice of something really significant and not in a good way in this country. It is getting really bad. Donald Trump and his administration have blatantly defied the court in regard to the immigrants that he dumped in a prison in El Salvador over the weekend. In response to the judge's order to provide information to the court, the Department of Justice actually scolded the judge today. In response, in written response, and they referred to the judge's request as quote purposeless and frustrating, and quote digressive micromanagement of immaterial fact finding. So there was a hearing held today. The Justice Department attorneys went in, completely stonewalled the judge. All the judge is trying to get to is what were the flight details? Like, when did these flights take off? Because again, for those who didn't catch the details the other day, he had told them over the weekend, you are not to allow these men to be taken out of the country. And if there are flights already on course, if they are already in the air and on their way to El Salvador, you need to turn them around. And if they have already landed, these men are not to disembark from that plane. They are not to get off the plane. You are to bring them back to the United States until I can determine, or an immigration judge can determine what is going on, who they are, and if they are in fact illegal immigrants, if they have committed crimes, if they should be taken out of the country, if they maybe have legal status. We need to determine all of that. So he told them in no uncertain terms, told them verbally, and then put it in writing. You are to turn these planes around. If they've already landed, do not let these men off, bring them back. Okay. So he wants to know, did you violate my order? Because if they did, then there are consequences for that. So he's asking about that. And then he's again asking about the immigrants themselves. Who are they? Are they in fact here? Were they undocumented? Did they have green cards? Maybe. I mean, we've seen that now. We saw that in the instance of Mahmoud Khalil, who they arrested the other day. They were going to deport him, and then they found out, oh, actually, he has a green card. We kind of screwed up. So the judge, they're saying, oh, well, you're encroaching on our authority, on a co-equal branch of government. I get it. Yeah, they are a co-equal branch of government, right? They are on par with each other as far as authority in this country. However, the law supersedes everything. The laws and the Constitution in this country supersede Donald Trump's authority, regardless of what he thinks or what the Supreme Court has told him that he is allowed to do as a spoiled brat. So they're saying, meaning the Justice Department, well, we may invoke state secrets privilege and, to withhold information from the judge. Like, we don't have to give you this information because this would endanger our country. This is a matter of, of security for our country. How? So Reuters said, this particular law or rule basically is meant to protect sensitive national security information. Typically, it's used in civil litigation. So, number one, it doesn't apply in that instance, in this case. But also, how is it a matter of national security if you're deporting undocumented immigrants? What bearing does that have? How does that impact national security? So Judge Boasberg rightfully pointed out, hey, look, even your Secretary of State, even Marco Rubio, was tweeting about this. He's posting online and on social media about these deportations. So how much of a secret could this be? You know, how much of a danger could it be to put this information out there if you're tweeting about it? It's an excuse and it's total BS. And the judge even said to them, look, you can file this information under seal. If in fact this is information that you don't want out there, there's some sort of national security issue, which is bogus, but okay, let's give them the benefit of the doubt. You can file this information with me under seal, so the public will not see it. And this judge deals with national security issues all the time. So what is their issue? So to me, this tells me that Trump is absolutely hiding something, right? Because if these immigrants were honestly dangerous criminals, if these were truly, as he keeps saying, tren de Aragua murderers and gangsters, and these are just the worst of the worst, as he and his team keeps calling them, then tell us, right? You would want that out there. Trump, above everyone, would want to say, look, see how horrible these people are that Joe Biden let into the country. You know, these are drug dealers and murderers and rapists and what have you. He would want that out there. He would be the first person to say, issue a press release. I'm going on television. I'm going to tell the country all about this. The fact that he doesn't tells us that he is full of shit and that these men probably did nothing wrong other than just entering the country without authority. And that does not give him the right. I don't think anybody in this country, other than the most racist of the MAGA base, would think that that justifies taking these men and dropping them in El Salvador and putting them in a prison that is known for human rights abuses, for starving people, for, you know, not giving them water, for having some people in this prison just vanish, just disappear off the face of the earth, never to be heard from again. That's what we're dealing with here. That's where these men were taken. And the fact is, we don't even know if they're undocumented immigrants because they're not telling us. They have not even released their names, let alone told anyone what crimes they supposedly committed or, you know, who they're affiliated with. These could be U.S. citizens for all we know. These could be immigrants, like I said, with no criminal history. And they are now sitting in this incredibly violent El Salvador prison where they could end up dead. I mean, this is no joke. And one woman now claims that she recognized her son in a video that was released by El Salvador's president. She told the Washington Post her son is 29-year-old Mervin Yamarte. He traveled from Venezuela. He came to the U.S. with 3 friends. She said none of them have criminal records, or I shouldn't say that. She said her son has no criminal record. He has no gang affiliation. The Washington Post looked into it. He has no criminal record here in the U.S. So he has committed no crime here in the United States other than crossing the border without authority, which is nothing, which is, I mean, it's not a criminal violation. Okay. He has tattoos, but they are the name of his daughter. Okay. They're also a Hispanic saying, which translates to strong like mom. And then his third tattoo is 2 hands clasped and the date that he and his longtime partner, the mother of his child, the date they met. Oh, sounds like a really scary guy. that he's really into his family, that he loves his longtime partner, that he loves his daughter so much that he would put her name on his body permanently. This is a party of family values doing this to him. A guy who clearly loves the woman he's with and his child. And his mother said he came to the US to make money for them so that he could give them a proper home and a safe home. So his partner told the Washington Post when she saw the video of him, she said, quote, it broke, or excuse me, my heart broke in a million pieces because my husband is not part of Tren de Aragua, and I couldn't believe they sent him there. So they know that he was taken in because apparently Yamarte called his mother when ICE agents went to the house. He was living with his 3 friends. The 3 friends have now been identified in the video by their relatives. So we know all 4 of these men went. All of the families are saying they are not gang members. They have never committed crimes. They were working before they left from here, but the country, as we all know, is in dire straits. And they came to America to work hard and make money. So we know that Yamarte contacted his mother while they were at the house, while the ICE agents were at the house. They were taken into custody, and then he contacted his mother again. He told her, we all signed deportation papers. They said that they will release us. We're probably, going to be coming back to Venezuela because we just signed these deportation papers. So the family thought they were going to be sent home. And then the next thing they know, they see them in these videos in this horrific hellhole of an El Salvadorian prison. So Trump could easily prove his claims. If these men are who he says they are, if they are who this idiot, press secretary he has, this little parrot that he put in place, says they are, they could just turn over the documents. They could say who these people are and what they did. Instead, he's hiding everything. And now he's calling for the Judge Boasberg, to be impeached and removed. So this is the chief U.S. district judge of the United States, and they are stonewalling him. And even Trump humper Supreme Court Justice, what's his name? Justice, not Alito, the other one, John Roberts. Even he called out Trump. He issued a statement saying, after Trump had put out his tweet and his, Truth Social post about how this judge should be impeached and removed, Justice John Roberts issued a statement. He wrote, quote, for more than 2 centuries, it has been established that impeachment is not an appropriate response to disagreement concerning a judicial decision. The normal appellate review process exists for that purpose. So he's saying this needs to go to an appeals court. If you disagree with what this judge is saying, needs to go to an appeals court. The problem is it can't even get to the appeals court while they are still stonewalling and just completely defying this judge. So the judge needs to make a ruling, and I'll get to, where things are at in a second, but Trump's clapping seals in the House of Representatives, they immediately got up on their hind legs. They start squawking for fish from their master. And within hours of Trump's social media post about the impeachment, House Republicans introduced a measure to impeach Judge Boasberg. And, this has happened over and over again. I mean, every president gets ruled against in court. It's happened to Biden. It happened to Obama. It happened to Trump in his first term. It's happened to every president. You know what doesn't happen is calling for the impeachment and removal of a judge because they disagree with you. Democrats, and this is something that the right wing is pointing to, Democrats did call for the impeachment and removal of Clarence Thomas, but that is wildly different. It is because Clarence Thomas is completely corrupt and was taking all kinds of money and gifts from people and then making rulings on those people's cases. So totally and completely different. Corruption is an impeachable offense and you should be removed for it. So anyway, these people are just an unstable cult or they're unstable cult members. They're just sick. They're very sick. And here's what Trump's ditzy press secretary, Caroline Leavitt, I'm always going to call her Leavitt. Here's what she had to say.
We have, unfortunately, Sean, a judicial branch that has gotten so out of control. You have single judges in single cities in lower courts trying to determine the way in which the president handles foreign relations. They cannot be allowed to do that. If we live in a country where the will of the American people is subverted by a single judge in a single court, we no longer live in a democracy. And so we have, unfortunately.
So she clearly does not know how democracy or our Constitution works. You know, just like she thinks that tariffs put money in Americans' pockets. Yeah, she actually said that. Bless her heart. Not a good representative for the blonde population and community, I must admit. Anyway, here's where things stand. So the judge issued a warning. This was today. He gave the Trump administration until tomorrow at noon. He said you can either invoke this state secrets privilege and tell me why. You must include the reason why and why this is so top secret that you can't, reveal all of these details. And if you do not, there will be consequences. Now, he didn't say what those consequences would be, but here's the big issue with this and why this is such a huge deal and why I say this is a very dangerous moment. If Donald Trump can just go round up anyone and dump them in a foreign prison where no one has access to them, where attorneys can't reach them and talk with them, where the press can't reach them and talk with them, and doing that without any evidence of wrongdoing, without any evidence of crimes, without any evidence of their immigration status, then he can do this to U.S. citizens. Make no mistake. So this is a very, very dangerous moment. And I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what the remedy is. Because really, what can Judge Boasberg do? Again, he cannot order Donald Trump to be arrested for violating his order. If they just keep stonewalling him and refusing to give him the information, what is he going to do? What is he going to do? Say, is he going to impose penalties against the attorneys? I mean, they work for the government. I'm pretty sure there's protections against that. So we'll see. But again, this is a very, very dangerous time in the United States. And as I said the other day, we may be at a point where the only thing that can save us is a foreign country. All right, guys, I will let you know as soon as I hear more. Thank you so much for watching and listening. Please like, please share, and subscribe. Please donate if you can. Love you all. Take care. Talk with you soon.